What's up everyone, Shane here with ROA Off-Road. We are down with Paws down in the Flagstaff Overland show. We got some new trailers, actually one new trailer behind us, pretty exciting, and I'm gonna be doing a tour and a walk around showcasing this new trailer. This is a Reboot. We just recently released a tour on a Reboot 19.4. Today, I got the 19.6 behind me. 19 stands for the length of the box, so it's a 19-foot box. This one behind me is a 0.6, so it sleeps 6. This is a family trailer. Super excited to showcase this trailer. As you can see right up front, it's gonna be very similar to the 19.4. You can spec it the same way. As you can see, we have the front kitchen area. This also comes with the Carefree awning, which I'll put that out. You can see LED lights. You also have the light right there, and that light also has the ember. That's to deter the bugs or the mosquitoes at night. They generally are less attracted to the yellow light. But as you can see, you have some nice lighting out here. We got speakers too for a stereo system, and that's inside and outside. I'm gonna do this tour first starting on the inside, because if you've watched the 19.4, you've already kind of seen the outside, but you haven't seen the inside of this one, and it's a lot different. So let's head on inside and check it out. Here we are inside, and this is the all new 19.6. As you can see, we got bunk beds back here, which is very, very cool. You also have a large booth still, and then up in the front area, you can see that we have a large queen size bed, and it is very comfortable. You can hang out here, watch television on the all new 40-inch smart TV, and they also have upgraded the 19.4s to 40-inch TVs as well. You can see lots of windows, and we have screens, we have blackout blinds, or you can go half and half if you want. One of the things, if you watch the 19.4 that you didn't see, is all the new cabinetry. As you can see, we've switched over to this more modern looking, sleek design. This is a veneer white with locking latches. So you press that and then it's gonna open up. Look at these hinges. These hinges are massive. They're very, very robust looking. And then you come up here, and this cabinet, I can barely touch the whole length of my forearm to put stuff up here. Now, of course, if you got the family over at the table, you can grab this TV and you can be able to swivel this out and be able to watch TV from the dinette area, which is very cool. This can also be swiveled back and be able to sit on the bed or at the table, hang out as a family and watch a movie. You know, on those rainy days, you're out camping. Sometimes you don't want to be out in the rain, and you come in and the whole family can sit around and enjoy a fun family movie. Also right now, we are completely off grid, and this air conditioning unit has been running for going on 2 hours. The Garmin system over here. So you do have the same Garmin system that you have on all of the Paws units and also the Reboots. The Reboots are a little bit more simple. I don't want to say dumbed down. They just don't have as many features, but you still have the ability to run your air conditioner off grid. Right here, you can see we're at 90% battery. I have the inverter on running right now, and we're bringing in solar, even though it's getting towards the evening, and we're running the air conditioner 90% battery, pulling 69 amps, and it's nice and cool in here. And I don't know if you can even hear that. It's not a very loud air conditioner. Now, there are a bunch of options when it comes to all of the Reboots. There's about $30,000 worth of manufacturer options that you can option out. So your MSRP is ranging around 85,000 all the way up to about 118,000, depending on how you option it. So you can get a very good off-road trailer in that $70,000 to $80,000 price range, depending on how you want the trailer to be set up. If you want to go fully loaded, you're gonna definitely get just above 100K, but you'll be talking massive battery banks, huge solar arrays. Everything is operated on Victron. We are off grid. I'm running an air conditioner. This unit that we're in right now is not a fully loaded unit. So you have the Coleman Mach air conditioner. If you go to the upgraded version, you get a Truma air conditioner. This also has the Suburban water heater, furnace. If you go to the upgraded, you get the Truma AquaGo with an on-demand circulating instant hot water system. And you also get a ducted Truma Vario heat. And that does make the unit 4 seasons. So if you want a 4 seasons trailer, you have to upgrade to the Truma appliances. But coming over here into the kitchen area, just absolutely beautiful. I mean, like I said, everything's locking. Nice drawers here. Lots and lots of storage throughout. Lots of drawers and plenty of storage throughout this trailer. This is a massive amount of storage underneath the sink area. And then of course, we have a cutting board, and under there you have a stainless steel sink, and it is pretty deep. It's kind of hard to tell. Here's a spatula, and you can see how long that is, and it is plenty deep. Also nice that you have a modern spigot, and this does spray, so you can wash those dishes a little bit easier and move it around. Now this countertop is a press Formica material, a laminate, and they do have an upgraded Corian solid surface option that you can add in. Of course, that's going to add a little bit more weight to the trailer overall, but obviously an option if you want it. You have these nice outlets with USB, and you can drop those down and get them out of the way, or you can pull it back up, be able to plug in your appliances. You can run a coffee pot, you can run a blender, you can plug anything in, because the ability to be off-grid with the massive solar array, the massive battery bank on this unit. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but once again, lots and lots of storage. Something that I want to point out, and I don't think I pointed this out in the other tours, but Pause has been really nice to add access panels to things. So as you can see, you got your wiring harnesses back here. If you ever need to get back in here to get into any wiring, you have access to all of that. And that's a big deal. You'd be surprised how many manufacturers don't actually give you access panels to be able to repair things or maintain things. Just a silly thing. And I think that's really important for somebody that's going to own a trailer. Massive, massive amount of storage above the kitchen area. You of course have the Furrion hood light and fan. And you have your Greystone stovetop. And this is your propane. And these put out a good amount of heat as well. So you're able to cook eggs, steaks, whatever you want to on here. Down below here, you have your Greystone microwave, but this is not just a standard microwave, it is also a convection oven. So if you've ever had a toaster oven, essentially what this does is you can set the temperature to say 350 degrees, 400 degrees, and you can actually bake. So you could put some cookies in there, burritos, whatever. You don't have to just run it as a microwave. You can actually use it as an oven. I know some people don't like microwaves, so you have an option of an oven there. Big storage drawer underneath there as well. And moving from over here, we move over to the refrigerator. And this is a 10.7 cubic refrigerator. It is a 12-volt refrigerator, so it is massive. It is very deep. It's deeper than a standard propane refrigerator. Lots of manufacturers are moving away from the propane refrigerators. As you can see, I mean, this is pretty deep. And one of my favorite features about this refrigerator is if I am like sitting on the toilet going to the bathroom and say I'm really thirsty, I can reach over here, grab myself a drink, and I can shut it from inside the bathroom. And so there you have it. That fridge, multi-purpose. Open it up from either side. Right here, we have a massive wardrobe, hanging space for clothes and jackets, and then also another cubby where you can put stuff, and super deep, right? Also, right next to your bed, you have a counter space with USB, both the standard USB and the USB-C. So you can plug in your cell phones, or you can run it off the inverter. Another cool little option, you can plug this into your truck and you have a backup camera, or you can plug it in right here and have it at night if you want it right there. And then of course a 12-volt plug there. Just below here, we have another drawer. Lots and lots of storage throughout the trailer. Let's move towards the bunk area. Underneath this booth, these poles do come out, and this table will drop down into a bed. You're about 6 foot length in bed and pretty wide. I mean, let me sit down here so you can kind of see. I mean, if I'm sitting right here, I can easily put another person. I'm a big guy. I fit just fine. So easily you can squeeze 4 adults in here, a family of 4. Obviously it sleeps 6, so you got extra kids, you're gonna have to put out little stools there. And all the windows do have these screens and also the blackout blinds. So at nighttime, it does get pretty dark in here. These windows open up really, really far. They're dual pane polycarbonate window. So they're very good for insulation. That dual pane, you have the gases inside, so it's gonna be good for keeping the cold from coming in too easily. And it's not glass, which is good. When you're in an off-road trailer, you don't want glass because glass can break easily. It can shatter, rock flies up, shatters. Polycarbonate is very, very strong. I think it's like 100 times stronger as far as the same thickness of glass in break resistance. So if you throw a baseball at this, it's gonna be really hard for it to break. These go way up, straight up. So you get lots of airflow. You ever pull over to the beach, you can just have tons of airflow coming through, and you can put the screen down to keep the bugs out and enjoy the outside while you're inside. Moving back to this area, as you can see, we got 2 bunk beds here, and you do have reading lights as well as USB ports. You have a night light and a reading light. So it's a blue light for nighttime and then also a reading light. So there's your night light and there's your reading light, which is pretty bright. Moving back into the bathroom area. Now, to have a full-size bathroom shower that's not a wet bath, it's a dry bath, and be able to have bunk beds in a 19-foot trailer is pretty astonishing. Good size shower, obviously, you know, yeah, drop a bar of soap. You know, that's the thing that everybody wants to know. Can you bend over and pick it up? Yes, you can. There's plenty of space. And there's a little bit of storage in here, not a ton of storage, but this storage is pretty deep, so you can put some toilet paper there. Of course, you have a toilet paper holder right there as well. You have some storage here. This one is a little bit hard to get to, but you do have some extra storage. Now, there is a storage compartment in here that is actually quite massive. This one right here goes the entire depth of the shower. So I can barely reach the end of this. So you could maybe put some little bins to organize things. That storage space is probably more storage space than you get in almost any trailer, period. You also do have a max vent fan, and that's gonna move the air really, really good in or out. So very, very cool. Coming back over here before we go outside. Oh, so nice to be out here. It is hot. We're in the desert. We're in Flagstaff, and I got the air conditioner running. That's crazy, right? Now, I also do want to point out some of the lighting before we go underneath the benches. But look at this. We have just beautiful lighting along the floor. You have this really nice lighting up along the cabinets. And then, of course, you have nice lighting underneath the cabinets throughout. Now, talking about what's underneath the bench, I know the guys love to see this stuff because it is very cool. This is 1,080 amp hours of battle-born lithium. It's a crazy amount of battery. I mentioned earlier that this was a base model. Most of it is base. This is not base. This is a fully loaded battery bank. You can go anywhere from 270 to 540, all the way up to 1,080 amp hours of lithium. So it just depends on what you want to do. Obviously, if you're going to try to run the air conditioner for an hour at a time, an hour in the day, an hour right before going to bed, you're going to want that battery bank. Now, moving to right here, we have more very cool stuff. And this is something that you're just not seeing in a lot of trailers. Certainly not standard trailers, but not even in a lot of off-road trailers. This is a gorgeous system. You have the all Victron. You have 2 solar charge controllers. The reason why they do 2 is because you can option up to 800 watts on the roof, and then you can have an additional 600 of briefcase panels. So if you order the fully loaded max solar, max battery, you'll have 1,400 watts of solar, and it will go through both of these 2 systems. And then also you'll have a DC to DC 12 volt charger, and this will charge off of your truck. And then of course, all the pause units come standard with a 3,000 watt multi-plus Victron inverter. And then everything is operated through the Garmin system. So it is a pretty robust system. If you're familiar or know about Garmin, you know, Garmin is used in the marine, aviation, military. So Garmin is a very robust system, very reputable company. And that's the reason why Pause is using it because they're one of the best out in the market. And the Garmin has so much ability to control all the functions of the trailer. So let's head on outside and talk a little bit about the outside. So as we come outside, you can see we got a nice grab bar. They also have switched out the door handles. This is actually a door handle that you'll see on some of the premium motor coaches. And of course the MORryde steps, and these are very wide, more comfortable to walk up, more like residential steps. Coming over here, we do have the outside kitchen. Now this is an option that you add. You have the 2-burner cooktop, and then of course this right here is your sink, and it slides in when you're not using it, or you pull it all the way out and drop that in. You also do have an outlet right there, and then of course you have your little nozzle right here. You can spray things off and hook that right there. Now coming around, this particular unit does have the base suspension on it, but you can upgrade to the more expensive or premium MORryde suspension, which is the AirRide suspension. The actual current suspension is a rubber shear spring. It has about 5.5 inches of travel up and down. It's very good. It is independent suspension, has a gas shock, and then has that rubber shear spring. So if you're not looking to go crazy off-road, it's a great feature. It's also quite a bit cheaper than the upgraded MORryde air suspension. The upgraded air suspension has Bilstein shocks with airbags, and you have travel as much as 12 inches. So when you pull into camp, you're able to level side to side with that air suspension. I love it personally. I'm a huge fan of that suspension. Also, nothing rides as well as an air suspension off-road, but you do have the options. This unit has the rubber shear springs, but you can option and upgrade it to that air suspension. If you want to see the suspension in action, we actually went off-roading with Maynard from Pause, Daryl from MORryde, and myself, where all three of us went out testing the trailers, and you were able to see the difference between the air suspension and the shear spring suspension. The rubber shear spring suspension was very good, but couldn't beat the air suspension, quite frankly. So now moving over here, you can see there is a little storage compartment. This is a great spot to store your sink and some of your miscellaneous goods for the kitchen. Of course, back here you have a tire carrier, and then moving to the back side, you can see we have a backup camera, which I showed you on the inside. Now that you can connect into your truck while you're traveling. Moving right here, this is your water heater, and this is the less expensive water heater. This is a 6-gallon water heater, and if you want to, you can upgrade to the Truma AquaGo. That's on demand and instant hot water. Moving over here, we have our wet bay or water station, where you have an outside shower that you can utilize, spray the kids off, the dogs, whatever. But then you also have all your city water, so you can connect in and bring water from the city and have it bypass your water pump, or from this area you can also fill up your water tanks. Speaking of water tanks, it's a 65-gallon water tank and a 30-gallon black tank and a 30-gallon gray tank. And also in here you do have a little hole that slides down through here, so you can be able to run a hose down from under and up to here, so that you can have this door shut on a cold winter day. Over here you have your outlet to your Suburban furnace. And once again, this is the base. So if you were to upgrade, you would go to the Truma. Now this is a single outlet. Right up by the bunk bed, there was an outlet that was coming out. If you go with the upgraded Truma, then you have ducted heat that runs throughout, and it also will make it 4 seasons. Now, the underbelly is all protected by an aluminum skin. Underneath that, you have your water tanks, which do have heated pads, even on the base model. But if you go to the upgraded Truma heater, then you not only have heated pads, but you also have forced air ducted down into the underbelly, so it gives even more heat and makes it more capable for going off-grid. Now, moving over here, we have our tires. These are the Workhorse Goodyear tires, all-terrain. If you upgrade to the MORryde suspension, you do have a more aggressive mud terrain tire, and it's a Wrangler Duratrack. These are the Wrangler Workhorse, and they are a 225/75 with a 16-inch rim and 12-inch electric drum brakes. I just like to point this out. This is so massive and thick. Like, a lot of trailers you'll see on the road, they use a piece of plastic skirt here. You get a blowout, it just shreds the whole thing up and it's destroyed. There's no way that that thing is getting destroyed. That is very robust and strong. Another thing I want to talk about is the frame. The actual frame itself is an aluminum frame. So the entire frame on the underbelly, or the chassis you would call it, is an aluminum chassis with a huck riveted aluminum chassis. So that actually is the same way that you would build a suspension bridge. Lots of people ask why huck riveted, because generally huck rivets are going to be better with vibrations and movement. That's the whole reason why suspension bridges are made with that huck riveting, because it's going to be moving. Cars are constantly driving over it. So you do have a huck riveted aluminum chassis, which is very strong. And then right here we have our ladder that goes to the roof. So if you do need to get up there to service anything, clean off your solar panels, that's nice and handy. Right there you have your ports for your exterior briefcase solar panels. And then of course we have our 30 amp shore power inlet. And then over here we have a massive pass-through garage. Look at this. I don't think you can understand how big this storage space is. This is a ladder that is maybe, what, 4 feet? I'm 6 feet. And you can't quite get it in right there, but that's almost a 4-foot door. Look at this. If you put this in right here, you can see all the way to here, there's an additional foot. This storage space is almost 5 feet long. This is a massive storage space. So you have the kiddos, if they're acting up and you don't want them to sleep inside on the bunk bed, you can throw them out here or whatever you want to do. You also do have some lights, and these do have automatic sensors. So when you open the door, it will sense that and turn on when you're out in the dark. And then also metal latches. These are slam latches, so you can actually slam it. You think, oh, obviously, but you'd be surprised. A lot of trailers use plastic latches, and when you slam them, they break. So those are nice little details that you don't always see in trailers. Also, another thing is, as silly as it is, this is magnetic right here and here. So this just goes up and holds it up out of the way via magnet. A lot of trailers that we've carried over the years, they use this little plastic hingy thing. And within a year or two, the UV light or the sun hits it and it just starts to deteriorate and falls apart because it's plastic. Now, the walls themselves are a fiberglass. So it's laminated all together, and it's actually a very unique wall. It's not like almost any wall on the market that I have seen year to date. The old Explorers used to do a similar type of wall. The new ones don't do it. It has a barrier that goes the whole length of the trailer. So it is an aluminum welded stud frame inside, but that aluminum studs, they're on the inside of the wall, and outside of the studs there's an insulation barrier that blocks the heat or cold coming into the trailer immediately. It hits that barrier and it has to work through the barrier before it hits the studs. Most trailers are going to have a fiberglass, and then the stud will be touching the fiberglass. So essentially, if it's cold or hot, it goes through the fiberglass and then straight through the stud and creates a thermal bridge into the trailer, which is not as good for heat or insulation. I think it's a really cool, unique design that you don't see in a lot of trailers. And then of course, in between each stud, you do also have foam insulation. So it is fiberglass on the exterior, but it's also fiberglass on the interior as well. Now, moving over to here, you have these corners, and these are aluminum extrusions. Now, these do not go all the way into the trailer. They're actually an L extrusion on the exterior. Inside, you actually have a Eternabond tape. And that stuff is really cool. If you don't know about it, Google it, do some research on it. That stuff essentially, once it goes on, it never comes off. It's very, very good stuff. And then this goes over it to cover it. Now, coming over to here, we do have a switch right here, and this works your electric tongue jack. So when you get to camp, you're able to lift this off your truck very easily, which I absolutely love. I'm all about getting to camp and just enjoying myself. I don't want to be hand cranking something. I want to really enjoy myself. And then in here, you can see is your propane tanks. These are 20-pound tanks. Of course, you could easily do a 30-pound tank. Now, I do want to mention that if you do the air suspension, you have a air tank right here, and it actually puts out 120 pounds of pressure, so you can pump up your tires or rafts or toys, because the air suspension does come with an air compressor and an air tank. If you do get that, you have to stick with your 20-pounders. If you don't, you can go larger tanks in here. Now, right here, there's also another little bonus storage area just for fun. And of course we shut this up. And these latches are all very premium quality latches. I always point that out to people. You have piano hinges, heavy duty latches. These are the types of latches you'll see on motor coaches that are $500,000 and above. And then coming down here, this is something new. This is something exclusive, currently 2 paws. This is a fully articulating hitch, goes up and down. The thing that's unique about this is fully articulating hitches are pretty common in the off-road industry, especially in Australia. You'll see this stuff all the time. But in America, MORryde has now built a 3 5/16 fully articulating ball hitch. And that doesn't exist anywhere in the world. Not that we're aware of anyways, unless somebody did it in their garage. This is all certified and tested by MORryde, rated for 21,000 pounds. And this thing is just, like I said, it articulates in every direction. You're gonna be able to go side to side. That's for your camber. You're gonna go up and down for your pitch or your washes. A lot of people get worried, well, all that moving and articulating, is that really good on the freeway? Well, if you don't want it, you can have it right here. And then this right here slides in, and then it locks it in place. And then it's just like a standard ball hitch, made in America, easy to run down the highway with no issues. Now, another cool thing about a ball hitch, and you don't get this on like, say, a Cruisemaster McHitch or a Polyblock, is it's really easy to get yourself a hitch. You can get Rhino hitches with adjustable hitches. You can get a 3-way hitch, you know, so you can have a 2-inch or a 3-inch or 3 5/16, whatever it is. So if you have a boat, you don't have to go out and get a whole different hitch to hook up on your truck. You can use the same hitch for any trailer you might have and this trailer, and that's really cool. Also, if you're looking at weight distribution hitches or equalizers, you can mount them to here and you can use that standard ball. Most of the articulating hitches are not compatible for equalizers or weight distribution hitches. So very cool, very neat system, and really exclusive for paws, never before done for anyone else. And of course you do have your safety chains and nice little holders for them to go somewhere. And then of course you have your 7-pin, and that's your standard 7-pin for the US, and that will work your brakes, your lights. It will also charge. So this works off your DC to DC charger. So you are able to charge from your truck to your lithium battery bank through this connector. A lot of times you can't do that on a lot of off-road trailers unless it's been set up for that. So it has been set up for that in the paws. And of course, you have a nice little place to store that as well as your breakaway cable. Moving over here, I wanna point this out. This is the pass-through storage, and you can see these bins. These are massive Walmart bins, and you can easily put 2 of these in here without any issues. And a case of water on the side as well. This has so much storage, it's incredible. Now come down here, I want to point something out. We got made in America. This is so cool. I am more than ever before proud to be in America, because Paws is really doing things that no other RV manufacturer is in the US. They are leading this new space in the entire US industry. They're doing things, innovating things that have never been done before. And they're collaborating with us at ROA, with MORryde. We're going out, we're using the trailers, and really bringing to market a product that's never been done before. And it's really cool. You've seen this in the Australian market for a while, but America is really pushing beyond what a lot of the Australian market is doing. And Maynard and Paws at Palomino, Forest River has really stepped up their game and now are building some of the best trailers in the world. So there you have it. If you got any questions, you want to know more about this trailer, just go down below, click on the link. We have a brochure with all the specs. I didn't go over everything. You'll be able to get more information below, or you can reach out to us, one of our experience centers at 801-860-0035, and you can text that number if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.